someone told you that you were a French chef who had to make an entire cake out of stickers, what would you say and what would you do? That's what improv is. Improv is like acting but without a script, so technically you're making it up while you go along. Surprisingly, there are rules when it comes to improv, even though you're making it up in your head. Number 1, always say yes. So if someone said, "This is my dog, he's red," you don't want to say, "No, it isn't, it's blue." You want to say, "Oh yeah, it's so cute and fluffy." Number 2, avoid questions. So if someone comes over to you and says, "Hey, I'm Jimmy. It's been such a long time." Who are you? That makes it harder for the other person. Number 3, don't try to be funny. If there are two people in a performance who both are just trying to be hilarious and trying to be funnier than the other person, it makes the performance all weird and nothing's like going on. They're just fighting for a joke. Number 4, establish the location. You don't want to go through the whole presentation or performance without knowing where you are. So at the beginning of the performance, say, "Hey Jimmy, thanks for taking us to Germany," instead of going through the whole performance without establishing where you are. Number 5, establish your relationship. You also don't want to go through the whole performance without knowing where you are, or the audience knows where you are. So, like you want to say, like a boy comes up to the librarian and says, "Can you help me find a book?" And so then you know that there's a librarian and there's a little kid. Or you can do mother and little child, or sister and brother. So, going over through the rules is always say yes, avoid questions, don't try to be funny, establish location, and establish relationship. I'm going to introduce one more thing to you. I've learned it as swipe, but it might be called something else. So swipe means the end of the presentation. So if your fellow performers who aren't in the performance think that the show should end if like it's getting a little quirky, or they think it's a great ending for the performance, the people over here would go and say swipe. So they would run across and say swipe, and then you know that the thing is over, the performance. So I'm going to choose 2 people to come up and do a performance.